Friends and learners, welcome to this video lecture on the topic online and e-examination. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about various technologies or ICTs which we can use for assessment and evaluation. In this video, we will be focusing about some of the ICTs or softwares which we can use for conducting online or e-examination. In this video lecture, we will also discuss about the concept of online examination. Then we will see how it is done, the procedures. Then the advantages and disadvantages we will discuss. We will also discuss about one of the popular softwares which we can use for conducting online examination. So in general, this examination is nothing but this is one of the ways of assessing students' progress. We can also use it for evaluation. So let us start with the concept of online examination, because we have heard about different terms like e-examination, digital assessment, online assessment, e-assessment, so on and so forth. How these terms differ? We cannot see much difference. Almost all the terms we can use like as a synonym. If you are talking about online examination, they are nothing but they are the tests conducted online to measure knowledge of participants. So through online examination, online test, we are giving some questions to the students. They will be asked to attempt that questions. And why we are giving such questions or why we are conducting such tests? This is basically to test their knowledge. What knowledge? Knowledge of the subject matter. Because in schools and higher educational institutions, we teach them subject knowledge. We also teach them to develop different skills and a couple of other things. But basically, through tests, we measure their knowledge of the subject. So any test conducted online to measure their knowledge of the students, then such tests are called online examination. This online examination, definitely when we use this word online, then definitely this has to happen with the help of internet. If it is not conducted in an internet environment, then we call it as offline examination. So the technologies or ICTs can be used both for online and offline examination. By that I mean, some tests, if the students want to attempt those tests, definitely internet connection has to be there. But for some tests, internet connection is not required. So that's why we call it as test conducted online to measure the knowledge of participants. We also use the terms like e-examination, digital assessment, e-assessment, online assessment, or computer-based assessment. And we can also say mobile-based assessments are also there. So using some softwares, we prepare the test examination and students will be asked to attempt or complete that test. This is how normally online examination is conducted or done. I hope you have understood this concept. Let us now discuss some of the features. One is the examination instructions. Because in a traditional examination, teachers will be there in the classroom, they can give the instruction. And whatever the instruction teachers are giving during the traditional examination, all those instructions will be clearly indicated in the online examination. Registration, which is not that way, we are not seeing the traditional examination. Students are using paper and pen for giving the answers. But in online examination, they have to register themselves. They will be allotted a username and they have to create a password. So that way registration is required. This is one of the features. Then the time duration in traditional examination is, even though we say 3 hours duration, this sometimes get extended 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But in online examination, usually we don't get such facilities. If it is a 2 hours examination, the examination ends by that particular time. Time reminder is also another feature. maybe after 30 minutes, 1 hour, students get reminders such that you have completed so and so hours. Now this much time is remaining. This is also one of the features. We have to definitely submit the answers in the online examination. Just ticking the correct answers doesn't work. At the end of the examination, there is something called a submit button. We have to submit our answers. So this is also one of the features. Now the results are declared either after the examination or maybe couple of days. So this is also one of the features. The student can also track their progress in the online examination. Say for example, if the test is having some 50 questions, when the students complete 20 questions, this will be shown in the screen that you have completed this much and this much is remaining, which is not there normally in the traditional examination. So see, these are some of the features of the online examination. Now, how this is usually done? What are the procedures? In a traditional examination, students go to the classroom, they will be given answer sheets, students start answering. They will be given the question paper and they will start answering. See, in online examination, they will be going to a specific, examination center where there will be many computers. They will be allotted, the students will be allotted a particular computer and they will be sitting on the computer which is allotted for them. Now they will have a user ID and password. So they have to enter the user ID and password. And when it is done, they are ready to take their examination. But the timer will be set by the examiner. So when it reaches at a particular time, the examination time begins. Say for example, 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. in the morning. So when the clock clicks 10 or 11 a.m. in the morning, then the examination will start. So from that moment onwards, the students can start answering. So start answering. Then when they answer in a traditional examination, pen and paper is used. Here they have to select the answers or they have to type the answers. And when they move on, they have to save their answers. When they have to save, then they have to click the next button. Normally this is how it is done. There can have, small differences in different examinations. So they will save and next button click, they will click the next button. So it will take them to the next question. Now in online examination, sequential move is preferred. In a traditional examination, after completing the first question, they can maybe jump to the 6th question or the 10th question. But this is not preferred in the online examination. They have to attend the first question, second question. They have to move in a sequential way. And once they complete when they reach the end of the question or when they reach the last question, they can come back and see the missing questions. This is usually preferred. And when they attend the questions, a progression prompt will be there. How many questions they have completed and how many is left. The time reminder will also be there. Then at the end, they have to click the submit button. Unless and until they do, their answers will not be saved. And when the time is over, then nothing can be done. So usually this is the procedure followed in the online examination. They will go to the examination center, they will give their user ID and password, then they will get their system ready for giving examination. And they will do all the questions and finally they will submit the answers. Now friends, let us quickly see some of the advantages of online examination. The errors are minimum because this is done by the digital devices. Malpractices are limited. In traditional examination, there are good chances of students engaging in malpractices, which is not possible in the online examination. Physical settings arrangements are, we don't have to spend much time. Once the examination center is ready, then this can be used many times. We don't have to arrange the classrooms all the time. Human power is also less that way. In a traditional examination, couple of staffs are required to manage all the activities. Here it is computer system. They have user ID and password. Then there are different settings in each computer. So human power, we don't require that way very much. Workload of the staff is also comparatively less. We will get faster updates. As soon as you complete the examination, the students complete examination, they will get the result. Saves paper, time and money is also very important, one of the good advantages of online examination. Then automated evaluation is also possible. Give the examination, at the end of the examination, the system itself will show the number of correct answers, the questions went wrong, even they will sometimes give the marks or grades also. So these are some of the advantages. When we talk about the disadvantages, there can have technical errors, so sometimes the system may not work, there can have power failures, internet issues also sometimes create issues. Then there can have very rarely the issues of viruses and malwares. Then we also require teachers and students who have properly trained, otherwise this may create issues. If the teachers are not well versed with the technologies and how the questions are set in the softwares required for or used for conducting online examination, this is going to create trouble, even the students also. Then cost involved is sometimes very high sometimes. Then the physical arrangements, when we talk about, we need to make all these arrangements, we have to have sufficient number of systems and all those technical requirements are required. So sometimes this is treated as a disadvantage also. Then time requirements, this requires sometimes huge amount of time, investing huge amount of time. So these are in brief some of the disadvantages of online examination. Talking about the softwares which are there for online examination, there are number of softwares. And when we talk about softwares, it usually falls under two categories. One is the paid and the other is free software. So the slide or the screen that you are seeing, which is showing some of the softwares, they are absolutely free. This is already hosted in the internet. You have to click on the what we say, that name, say for example TC exam, then the internet, that website you can access. There are many ready-made examinations which is suitable for the different students class levels. We can of course use that. So in the screen you are seeing some of the free softwares which are already hosted. Many of them are already hosted, some you have to definitely download. So these are some of these free softwares which you can use for conducting online examination. There are many free online examination apps also. The slide which I was showing previously, some of those application softwares do not have mobile based apps, but the slide right now you are seeing in the screen, many of these softwares, they have apps which you can work on the mobile based devices also, like Kahoot, Quizzes, Minto, Quizlet, Formative, Mentimeter, Plickers, Socrative. These application softwares have apps also which we can use it in the mobile devices. So friends, the softwares which I have shown in the previous slide and these application softwares also we can use for online examination. So these are, then we can say, the ICTs which we can use for conducting online examination. Now we'll see one of the popular application softwares or ICTs, which is the Google Form, and this is used for conducting online examination, online test. We will discuss about how this Google Form can be used for creating examinations or text. So friends, we will start with how we will access the Google Form. There are a couple of ways. One is you can log in your email, then in the email page you will see something like 9 dots on the right top corner. So what you will do, you will go to your email, then you will click on this 9 dots. So when you click on this 9 dots, you can see all the Google apps coming out. From there we can click or select this Google Form. You can see these forms. So this is nothing but this is Google Forms. So this is one of the ways. Or the second way is you can directly go to Google and type this website address which is shown in this slide, www.google.com/forms-about. You have to type this website address, then it will take you to Google Form. So once you have accessed, or when you are in that Google Form page, then you will see a window like this. This is the Google Form window. Now your Google Form is ready. So we are going to create now an examination for our students. So now we are going to create an examination for our students. For that we will sign in first, then we will end up, or we will see a window like this. This is a Google Form window. You can see a plus sign here, blank, then a blank quiz, assessment, worksheet, exit tick. Many options are there. This is actually their Google Form template gallery. So they have different templates. Either we can use this plus sign, we can click on this plus sign, or we can click on this blank quiz, or we can use this assessment template also. It's always better to use the blank or blank quiz, then we can modify, manipulate according to our need. So we will click either on this plus sign or blank quiz. For the time being I am clicking on blank quiz. Once you click on this blank quiz, this is how it will appear like. We will have a glance through the icons which are seeing in this window. This is the home place. This is the place where we can type the examination title. Say for example, if this is an examination related to physics, then we will write examination on physics, or physics examination, physics test. So anything, the title of the examination you can type here. Then you will see on the right side there is a theme. This is the icon for theme. Then there is a eye symbol. This is preview symbol. Then there is a a gear like icon. This is the icon for making changes. So this is icon for settings, making changes in the settings. Then couple of things like questions, responses, send, your email icon, image will be there. Then you can see untitled question here, then option 1, add other option, etc. Answer key. We will see that what these icons are. You will also see I have already pointed out, you will see the untitled title. Then on the right side you can see couple of other icons. This we have seen this preview, then eye icon and settings icon. On the right side below that you can see a plus sign. This is for adding new questions. Then if you have created some questions somewhere else, that can be imported. For importing the questions to this blank quiz, this is the icon. For giving title and description, you can click on this T. Then if you are adding any images to your examination, this can be clicked. For adding any videos, this is the icon you have to click. Then normally in our question paper we see objective type questions, short answer type questions, essay type questions. So this we can make as a different section. One section for objective, one section for short answer. If you want to make such sections in your question paper, this is the icon we have to use. The one which you are seeing in small rectangle shape on the lower side, right lower side. So friends, this is the description about the different icons that we see in the Google Form. Now what are the types of questions which we can include in Google Form? We can include short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox type, drop down mail, file upload. Say for example, I am asking my students to create a video program that has to be uploaded in the Google Form. Then that is also possible. I want my students to develop some images. This can be uploaded. So for file uploading, there is also option. Then linear scale, multiple choice grid, checkbox grid, date, time, all those can be included. So there are different types of question formats which we can develop in the Google Form. Now we will see how the question is created in Google Form. Say for example, if it is a multiple choice question. As I was saying, when you click on that plus or blank quiz symbol, a new what we say, window will be appearing where we are going to create the questions. So this is a sample test. You will see something like this. I have already typed a question here. This is the place where we have to create or put our question. Say for example, if it is a question, what is LMS? What is LMS? This is a question. So I have already typed a question here. I'll click that question here. Then whether it is multiple choice, objective type, short answer, I have to select from this drop down menu. So you can see a drop down menu here. I'll click on this drop down menu. Then all the question formats which we have discussed in the previous slide, that will appear here. So if it is a short answer type question, you click short answer from here. So this is how the question is created. If you want to add more questions, what we have to do? You have to click on this plus symbol. I have already shown that. We'll click on this. Then the same, what we say, formatting will be repeated, where we will add the second question. Now, if you want the questions mandatory, no student should leave that question. That should be a mandatory question. Then how it is done? This is a question, identify a LMS platform. This is an example. This is a multiple choice question. I have made it multiple choice. I want my students, all students, to answer this question. They cannot move to the next question without answering this question. So if I want to make it a mandatory question, I have to switch on this circle. You can see required. It is written like required here. So I'll click on, I'll switch on this, what we say, circle icon. So now this question is a, what we say, mandatory question. Now you will also see, say for example, identify a LMS platform. This is a multiple choice question. We have 4 options here. Now there is one correct answer among these 4 options. So I'll prepare answer key for that. I mean, like how I will make one correct answer, how the students will know that one answer is correct answer. For that I can create the answer key. So to create answer key, I'll click on this answer key on the left lower side. You can see this is the place for creating answer key. So when I'm clicking on answer key, what will happen? You will see a window like this. Creating answer key, identify a LMS platform. You will see few circles appearing here. So we have to select the correct answer from there. The teachers will do this, okay. Identify a LMS platform. This is the question. A correct answer will be there. Teachers will be ticking on the correct answer. So that way we have marked the correct answer. So as soon as the students attempt this question, they will see their answer is right or wrong. So if you have multiple choice type of questions, you can definitely give answer keys. Even this is also possible for short answer and essay type questions. Now for adding new section, as I was saying, you have to click on these 2 rectangles which is on the right side. So one section for what we say is short answer, the other section for multiple choice, another section, maybe a third section for essay type answer. So you can click on this rectangle to create different sections. This is how it will look like when you create different sections. Section 1. This is section 1 of, we have 4 sections. This is the first section, second section is this. So this is how it will look like when you create sections. Now as I said, you have to click on this gear icon for making any changes in the settings. So let us see how it will look like when you click on this gear icon. When you click on that, you can see you will get 3 options: general, presentation and users. When you click on this general, see, you can see you will get these many options. If you want to collect the email address, you tick that. If the students want to edit their answers, you have to click on this. So you will get couple of options when you are clicking on general. When you click on presentation, you can see show progress bar. If the students want to see their progress, say for example, there are 50 questions, after 20 questions, students will see I have attempted 20 questions, now 30 questions are remaining. If you want to shuffle the question order, you have to click on this. So the first question will be the 40th question of the second student. So question numbers, orders will be changing. So if you want to make such changes, you have to click on presentation. Now let us see what will happen when you click on quizzes. When you click on this, see, you can make it as a quiz examination, real examination. When the students complete this, they will get the grade, they will know their what we say mark and all. So this is for that. If you switch on this, if you activate this, this will be just like an examination. Then how you want to release the grade? Immediately after each submission, you have couple of options here. You choose the option which is comfortable or relevant for you. So this is how you will make changes in the settings. Now once you create the examination or test, you need to give this to the students. Once it is given to the students, students will start answering. And if you want to see their responses or if you want to get their responses, you have to come to this window. Then you can see responses. We were here, we have clicked on the questions to create questions. On the next, just right of that, you can see responses. When you click on the responses, you can see on the right side a plus symbol and 3 dots. On below to that, you can see again accepting responses. You have to switch it on. When you switch it on, then only students can submit answers, when students can attend that examination. So don't forget to make these settings, otherwise students will not be able to submit answers. Now when you click on the responses, you will also see couple of other options, like if 100 students are there attending your examination, if you want to see the responses of the 100 students, you can click either on responses or you can download their responses to CSV file format. So you will see the responses of each student for each of the questions that you have created. Now how to send this once you have developed the examination or test, or sometimes we can call it as quiz also, how you will send this quiz to the students. On the right side, as I was saying, preview button is there, settings button is there. Then after the gear icon, you can see a send icon also. You have to click on this send. Once you click on this send icon, let us see what will happen. You can see you will get couple of options, like you can email this to your students, you can attach as an attachment, or you can share it in your social media platforms like Facebook or Twitter. So there are a couple of options. This is for link. If you want to send the link to your students as an attachment, so you will click on this, then the link of this Google form will be generated. That link can be shared with your students. Otherwise, you can send via email or social media platform. So we have couple of options here for sending this examination to your students. Now how you will delete? See, when you come to your Google form home page, you will see something like the examination that you have created. I have couple of examinations or test here. One is final test, then CIET test is also there. Suppose I want to remove this test, I'll select this. Then on the right side, you will see 3 dots. You will click on that. You can click on that. Then couple of options again will come out. You have to click on this remove. When you click on this remove, this test will be removed from our database. So friends, till now we have discussed about Google Form, which is one of the popular softwares or application softwares which is used for developing online examination. I hope you have understood how the Google Form is used for creating online examination. With this, we are winding up this video lecture. In this video lecture, we have talked about online and e-examination. We have started with the concept of online examination. Then we have discussed some of the advantages and disadvantages. We have also discussed about the procedure followed in online examination. Then we have demonstrated how Google Form can be used for developing online examination. I hope you have understood the concepts and demonstration that we have done in this video lecture. Thank you. Thank you for listening this lecture.